You're watching Nightline. I'm currently here at Jalan Duta Toll Plaza to witness a symbolic ceremony to usher the new toll rates. Now, we have with us the first two cars to enjoy 18%, but before that, let me tell you, with the new toll fare reduction, a journey from Jalan Duta to Alor Kedah will cost road users RM45.50 compared to the current charge at RM55.50. Now, while from Jalan Duta to Skudai, Johor, to cost RM38.50 compared to the current RM47. Now, the concession period has also been extended by 20 years from 2038 to 2058. Now, this reflects on part of the Pakatan Harapan government's manifesto that promises to review toll concessions, reduce the living costs of Malaysians. Now, we are currently waiting for the first two cars that get to enjoy 18% toll fare reduction. So before we meet them, we currently have the launching of the Jalan Toll Plaza fare duty reduction. Now again, let me remind you, with the new toll fare reduction, a journey from Jalan Duta to Alor Kedah actually will cost road users RM45.50 compared to the current charge at RM55.50. Now we already have our first car. Let's go and meet them. Now basically, this car is literally the first person who gets to enjoy 18% toll rate discount. So we're going to ask, what do the user think of this reduction? Hi. So basically, could you share with us how often do you use Jalan Duta's toll, and what do you think now that the price has been reduced?
Oh, I use Jalan Duta toll almost every day. Like today, I'm actually from Juru. Yeah, so I wasn't aware that it's going to be reduced today. So I'm actually very pleased and glad that it's a big surprise, and I think it's a big present for all Malaysians altogether. I'm very happy.
All right, thank you so much. So we'll be going to the second car. Let's hear from that. Okay, so basically for this car, we'll ask this question. Assalamualaikum. So dengan reduction ni, boleh ceritakan sikit berapa banyak yang Encik akan save kalau guna tol ni?
Ya, perjalanan saya daripada KLI ke sini boleh menjimatkan kos saya bagi yang hari-hari pengangkutan awam, teksi dan bas, lori dan sebagainya. Ya.
Baiklah, terima kasih. Drive safe. So I'm Izzah Shafiza, and that wraps up what I have for now. Back to you, Jana, at the studio.
Thank you, Miza. Live from Jalan Duta Toll Plaza. The Prime Minister announced that English will once again be used to teach mathematics and science. Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad, who is the acting Education Minister, said the use of English and mastery of the language in our education system must be promoted. The Prime Minister made this announcement during a special meeting with Education Ministry management officials. A video of his address was later uploaded on social media.
We want to promote the use of English, the mastery of the language in our education system. This is very important, that we must give time for learning English, in particular in the learning of science and mathematics. Geography and history can come in any language, but science and mathematics is not an indigenous field of knowledge. It comes from abroad, and most of it comes to us in English, and therefore we are going to use English in the teaching of science and math. And that means that we don't confuse people, because we find that those who study science in Malay later on couldn't work where English is required.
The teaching and learning of science and maths in English was introduced in phases beginning with Year 1, Form 1 and Lower 6 students in 2003 under Tun Dr. Mahathir's first tenure as Prime Minister. It was abolished in 2013. Meanwhile, the National Union of Teaching Profession and UTP urged the government to learn from the past and not repeat mistakes if it decides to bring back the teaching and learning of science and mathematics in English. And UTP Secretary General Harry Tan Huat Hock said the government should address the need for more English teachers and provide more training and in-service courses for the teachers.
Well, NUTP agrees that we must not be left behind in the field of science and technology. Hence, we support the teaching of maths and science in English. However, we must look at history and study the problems that arise from this policy the last time. This issue was made a political football. Both sides of the political divide were making it a source of an issue. And it was also part of a manifesto to get rid of the policy. Then there is the issue of the lack of maths and science teachers that can teach in English. So the teachers were really demotivated. And of course, there was the issues of late textbooks being supplied to the schools. And the teachers also had to contend with the dual language exams. That means we are teaching the maths and science in English, but at the same time, we gave the students an option to answer in Bahasa Melayu. So these were some of the problems that were there the last time the policy was implemented.
No decision has been made so far to restrict flights from China to Malaysia, despite the World Health Organization, WHO, having announced a public health emergency of international concern over the global outbreak of 2019 novel coronavirus. Transport Minister Anthony Loke Siew Fook said any decision on the matter should be made jointly by the Cabinet. He said this would include taking into account the Health Ministry's directive.
Belum ada keputusan benar, tapi kita akan pantau dekat untuk melihat perkembangan yang berlaku.
The Transport Minister spoke to the media after visiting an exhibition on the East Coast Rail Line ECRL project alignment in Seremban Negeri Sembilan on Friday. He said so far, only Sabah is not allowing people from China to enter the state, which was a state government decision. The National Disaster Management Agency, NADMA, is ready to bring home some 80 Malaysians from Wuhan, China, in the wake of the 2019 novel coronavirus outbreak. Foreign Minister Datuk Saifuddin Abdullah said he's confident that China would extend its cooperation to Malaysia based on a similar move given to other countries, including Japan, adding that the Malaysian citizens would be brought back via a commercial flight as soon as possible.
Kapal terbang yang kita hantar itu juga akan membawa medical personnel dan rakyat Malaysia yang kita nak bawa pulang itu kita akan periksa, kita bawa dia balik dan sebaik saja sampai di Malaysia mereka akan diperiksa lagi dan tengok kepada keadaan, kemungkinan juga kena kuarantin untuk beberapa ketika. Baru selepas itu mereka akan dilepaskan. Prioriti kita ialah keselamatan mereka dan oleh kerana keadaan itu nampaknya belum lega, jadi kita buat keputusan, Kabinet buat keputusan semalam untuk kita bawa mereka pulang.
The ministry is currently in discussion with its Chinese counterpart on several issues before the evacuation process begins. There are about 35,000 Malaysians in China, with about 115 in Hubei. Of the 115, only 80 still remain in Wuhan, as the others have left for holidays, with some returning home to Malaysia. Datuk Saifuddin also said that the Malaysian embassy in Beijing had been communicating with Malaysians in the Republic for the past week. Meanwhile, China has marked its most fatal day yet during the Wuhan coronavirus outbreak Friday, as the World Health Organization, WHO, declared the virus a global health emergency. Chinese authorities on Friday had reported more than 40 deaths, all of them from Hubei, the province at the center of the outbreak, of which Wuhan is the capital, bringing the total death toll to 213, with almost 10,000 cases confirmed worldwide. According to authorities, so far there are more than 9,700 coronavirus cases confirmed in China, an increase of over 2,000 from the previous day. The figure from the virus, which has spread from Wuhan's Hubei province to every one of China's 31 provinces, surpasses the 2003 severe acute respiratory syndrome SARS outbreak that began in southern China, which infected 8,098 people worldwide, killing 774. More than 20 countries and territories outside of mainland China have confirmed cases of the Wuhan virus, spanning Asia, Europe, North America and the Middle East, as the United Kingdom reported its first 2 cases on Friday. The decision by the WHO has also prompted governments to upgrade their own response to the virus, with the US State Department raising its travel advisory for China to its highest level, do not travel. Up to 183 people were killed in traffic accidents nationwide in the last 12 days of the ongoing Chinese New Year holiday travel period, which commenced with the launch of the Op Selamat road safety operation. Motorcyclists and pillion riders comprised 119 of the deaths. Bukit Aman Traffic Enforcement and Investigations Department Director Dato' Azizman Alias said in a statement that a total of 18,830 accidents, 166 of which were fatal, were recorded during the period. Selangor led the list of crashes, followed by Johor, Kuala Lumpur and Perak. A total of 313,936 summonses were issued, 197,454 of which involved the 6 major offences of Op Selamat. And they were using mobile phones while driving, beating traffic lights, driving over speed limits, misusing emergency lanes, cutting queues and overtaking on double lines. Op Selamat, which was launched on January 18th, ends Saturday. 3 people were killed in an accident on Friday along the North-South Expressway near Sierra Mas West. Selangor Fire and Rescue Department Director Nur Azam Khamis said it is believed that the accident occurred after a car crashed into the back of a lorry. 5 victims were in the car and 3 of them were pronounced dead by medical staff. The deceased have been identified as 35-year-old Nur Hafizah Sharibun, who was the driver of the car, her husband Muhammad Azrul Qasim and their second son Muhammad Haikal Muhammad Azrul. The survivors were their 2 other children, 2-month-old Aishah Umairah and their 8-year-old adopted son Sharil Aiman Abdul Rahman, who are seriously injured. The bodies of the deceased were sent to the same hospital for post-mortem. In Pulau Pinang, a 23-year-old man and his 3-year-old daughter were killed in a road accident on the North-South Expressway near Bertam. In the accident, just before 10 a.m., the man's 29-year-old wife was seriously injured. The accident occurred when the Toyota Alphard the family was travelling in crashed into a road divider and burst into flames. Both victims were burnt to death. North Seberang Prai Police identified the dead as Yap Bun Kwan and his daughter Yap Jing Swan. Triumph releases new 2020 Triumph Street Triple 765 RS, the auto segment, after this breather. Welcome back. Nightline continues with the auto segment. The largest UK-owned motorcycle manufacturer, Triumph, has a long and colourful history that goes back to 1880s, and after more than 100 years, one of the world's major motorcycle manufacturers continues to produce a range of motorcycles that would excite all bike enthusiasts. This includes the 2020 Street Triple 765 RS. Raymond Goh, who had a chance to take the aggressive machine for a test ride, shares his experience.
That's me, Raymond Goh. Welcome to Nightline's Auto segment. For the year 2020, this is our first motorcycle test, and we're happy to have with us the brand new model for the year 2020 Triumph Street Triple RS. This is a 765cc motorcycle, and the engineers who are also involved with the Moto 2 for Triumph have tweaked this engine to give it 9% more power. We'll see how much power that is and how much fun this bike is to ride. So join me as we take this for a spin. Woo! Fantastic. After the launch of the 765 RS in 2017, the second generation of the 765 has now been released, the 2020 Triumph Street Triple 765 RS, which comes with 9% more power and torque in the mid-range. Though peak numbers are much the same as the previous generation RS, the mid-range of the power band takes a 9% bump according to Triumph. A less restrictive exhaust is also used with 2 catalytic converters that lowers emissions as well as allowing for faster exhaust flow. This RS model replaces the outgoing one with some new upgrades, which I'm sure fans of the RS would be excited about. I understand that the price has remained the same, but upgrades are tremendous, including a 9% increase in torque, which now gives you about 79 Newton meters of torque peak. Horsepower remains just about the same at 121.36, and that peaks at about 11,750 RPM. The sound of this machine, by the way, this particular model that we're testing has been upgraded with the Aero exhaust system. Even the original exhaust system sounds pretty good, but with this Aero, wow. Listen to that. Macho, sexy, aggressive. Minor changes in the 6-speed gearbox include shorter first and second gears to improve acceleration, and up and down quick shifter is standard. Engine response has also been improved with a 7% decrease in rotational inertia done by changing the engine's internals slightly. Weight takes a 2-kilogram drop for 2020, the 765 RS weighing in at 166 kilograms dry, and fuel is carried in the same 17.4-litre tank. This is such a light motorcycle. 765 cc's, and this machine weighs in at just about 166 kilograms dry, and even with a full tank is still under 200 kilograms, so it's very maneuverable and flickable. Look at that, wow, fantastic. Also new are the headlights, slimmer than before with new LED DRLs. Inside the cockpit, the full-color TFT LCD now comes in 4 display modes and 4 colors with tilt adjustment to provide the optimum viewing angle. 5 ride modes are standard: road, rain, sport, track and rider configurable, and the optional Triumph Bluetooth module allows connectivity to the rider's smartphone for navigation and phone functions. Braking remains unchanged using Brembo M50 monoblock calipers, clamping twin 310mm floating brake discs, and the rear fitted with a 220mm disc and single piston caliper. Suspension is similar, with fully adjustable Showa big piston forks and Olin's STX40 monoshock, also fully adjustable. Pirelli Diablo Super Corsa SP V3 tyres are standard fitment, showing the sporting intentions of the 2020 765 RS. There are two colour options for the Triumph Street Triple 765 RS, Matte Jack Black with aluminium silver and yellow decals, or Silver Ice with Diablo Red and aluminium silver decals, featuring hand-painted red pinstripes on the wheels. The price, 65,900 ringgit.
Oh, what a ride, what an enjoyable ride on this brand new 2020 Triumph Street Triple RS. It's been such an enjoyable ride with so much power and so much torque across the whole bandwidth, and also the handling has been superb. That's what makes it fun to play around with this motorcycle, adjusting the different modes, the different drive modes with the Showa upside down forks and the great suspension provided by the Olin's amazing motorcycle. We hope you enjoyed the ride with us. Our thanks also goes out to Triumph Motorcycles Malaysia, of course, for providing us with such a wonderful machine, the 765cc Triumph Street Triple RS. Dream machine, very nice, sexy, gorgeous, powerful, nice to play with. Well, hope to see you again in our next episode of Auto Segment for Nightline. With that, I'm Raymond Goh, saying ciao for now.
We're going for a short break. When we return, Canberra faces catastrophic fire as state of emergency declared. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Australian officials declared a state of emergency for the capital city of Canberra and surrounding regions on Friday as soaring temperatures and strong winds threatened to propel a large bushfire beyond the control of firefighters. Authorities said the decision to declare the first state of emergency since fatal wildfires in 2003 indicated the potential danger over the weekend. The declaration will run for 72 hours, giving authorities greater powers to order evacuations, close roads, and take control of private property. Heatwave conditions are also expected to sweep through Victoria and New South Wales states over the weekend, where some 80 fires are burning. Australia has been battling bushfires across its east coast that have killed 33 people and an estimated 1 billion native animals since September. Around 2,500 homes have been destroyed as more than 11.7 million hectares have been razed. Before we wrap up this edition of Nightline, let's take a look at what has been installed on the front pages of Malaysia's main newspapers on Saturday, February 1st. The New Straits Times highlights on the use of English in teaching mathematics and science, while the nation's best-selling Malay daily, Harian Metro, discusses on coronavirus, which was declared global health emergency by WHO, and the 18% reduction in toll rates at all plus highways beginning February 1st. And the teaching of mathematics and science in English also takes the front page of Berita Harian. Do get your copies. Egypt on Thursday has unveiled a new archaeological discovery in the southern governorate of Minya, including 16 communal tombs belonging to the high priests of god Jehuti and senior officials of the late period. Take a look as we wrap up Nightline this time around. I'm Jana Mohammad Zaki. Thank you for watching and have a good weekend.